I like this little robot here. He just seems so excited. Hop. And shoot. And hop. And shoot. And hop. Shame that I should have to kill them. These robots are kind of cute. Yeah, Brevin just likes his battle droids to have feet. I mean, can you blame him? It's pretty great. Oh, those robots don't have feet. So yeah, you got robots and you got mutants. You have two different forces here. Those would be... You know, you can't just have, like, one kind of alien force and you're invading alien forces. If you've conquered a bunch of places, chances are you've, already, like, picked up weaponry and stuff from other places you've conquered. It's kind of like how the Yorks, they had the Taxons and the Hork Bajur, along with, like, some of their other stuff. That's a weirder reference. Let me try, like Thanos. How Thanos had, like, a bunch of, like, children that he stole / adopted from several different places that he had killed the population of half of, including, Gamora and Nebula and those 4 in the Black Order. I'd like to know more about them. If we ever do more stories like that take place before Infinity War and want to do more Thanos stuff, I'd like to see more of those Thanos' 4 generals, because they were well done. Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive and Cull Obsidian, who in the comics is known as Black Dwarf, but I guess that name doesn't really read as well in a movie. that would be kind of like every time they said Black Dwarf, you would be like, what? And especially Ebony Maw. I love how they did Ebony Maw. He's freaking despicable. In the comics, there's a prominent 5th member of that group called Supergiant, who I know is in Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, since that game is subtitled The Black Order. Okay, yeah, so I forgot this was the part where I kind of just avoid all of the enemies and get all of my health back, so it's fine. Alright. And bounce, and... oh. Okay. I'm very clumsily making my way through all this. It's fine. Everything is fine. But, like, and along with that, Thanos had, like, 2 different, like, personal armies that he would use, because he had the Chitauri and he had the Outriders. That's what they're called, right? Yeah, those are the ones from... that they fight in Wakanda in Infinity War, Outriders. Yeah, but then at the end of... I guess I still shouldn't do Endgame spoilers. In case you haven't seen Endgame yet. No, I've talked about Endgame spoilers on the channel before, like in the Darkest Dungeon playthrough, like a little bit. Like, it has been long enough. Okay, so, I'm gonna rant about Marvel again. But here's another thing that kind of bothered me a little bit. So... spoilers is always, like, a touchy subject, because I usually try not to spoil things when I think that the plot really demands to not be spoiled. But it's also true that the longer something has been around, the more okay it is to talk about its plot twists openly and quote-unquote spoil it. So, Endgame, there's a lot of stuff that can be spoiled. I'd care more about spoilers in Endgame than spoilers in, like, Kingsman: The Golden Circle, for example. Because it's such a big franchise, so there's more things to care about, so there's more things that... and, like, there's a lot of plot twists in Endgame. I'm getting off topic. So, at one point... sorry, I thought about, like, 2 different ways I wanted to go with this conversation, and... so, at one point, the Russo brothers, the directors of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, set a date and said that after this point, the spoiler ban is up, and you are allowed to talk about, things in Endgame on social media. And I mean, I know they're the creators of it, and I guess it's nice that, like, most of the fan base could just, like, agree on this of, like, okay, this is when we're gonna be okay with spoiling. But, like, death of the author, man. What gives them the right to decide when you can spoil something and when not? I don't know. I don't think the creators are really supposed to have a say on that. Plus, that's kind of mean to... I know why they did it, so that they could, like... For the people who still decided not to go see it after 2 weeks... I think it only took 2 weeks. A month at most, but I think it was only 2 weeks. But so that, like, the people who, like, if they went 2 weeks and still didn't see it, they probably weren't going to see it without some kind of provocation. So lifting the spoiler ban was a way to get people to be able to talk about it again. I know your game, Marvel marketing. And I don't know. Like, I can't go around seeing every movie ever made. I understand that this was, like, Endgame, like, it was important. It was an event. You should probably try to go see it sooner, because... if you're a fan of it, you know, most people aren't going to want to go see it right away, and I understand people. I also understand people wanted to talk about the movie and express their thoughts, because there's a lot to talk about. But one, there's, like, Reddit for stuff like that. You know, where you could, like, hey, don't be in this chat room unless you've seen it already, because we're going to talk about spoilers. Two, just, like... Are you saying that all the real fans, like, you're only a real fan if you manage to see it in the first 2 weeks? Because, like, you don't know my life. And, yeah, I went to see it, the day after opening night. I had work. I couldn't go opening night. But... oh, wait, no. I went to see it on the Monday, actually, because Allie was out of town, and I wanted to wait for her. That's right. Because she was at her bachelorette party. But anyway, so, like, what if, like, I was a really huge Marvel fan and I was, like, freaking in the hospital? Like, that's not fair. And, I mean, at that point, you know, it's kind of up to society itself and the fan base itself to decide when they're going to allow spoilers. But I just don't think it's something that the creators can just decide like that. I don't know, I found that weird. Also, there's a movie theater that, showed the, like, it was, like, 3 weeks later, but they showed the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home before Endgame, which, when they first released the trailer for Spider-Man Far From Home, they started it with a message from Tom Holland saying, hey, this trailer has spoilers for Avengers Endgame, so if you haven't seen that movie yet, don't watch this trailer. And that was fine when, like, they first released the trailer on the internet, but, like... I mean, that trailer does, in fact, begin with completely giving away the most important thing about the ending to Endgame. So, one theater made the mistake of putting the trailer to Spider-Man Far From Home, putting that preview before a showing of Avengers Endgame. So people going to see Avengers Endgame got a preview telling them how the movie was going to end. And not, like, how one aspect was going to end. Like, this wasn't even, like, admitting that, like, Darth Vader is Luke's father. Though it is something of, like, similar thematic weight. But this is, like, telling them that Darth Vader is Luke's father and Luke was going to fail to beat him and lose a hand and Han was going to get frozen in carbonite. Like... I don't know, that's just, like, it was never, there was never any doubt that Spider-Man was going to be back, and characters who had gotten snapped away from by Thanos were going to be back. See, and even that is a spoiler for Infinity War. I feel really bad for the people who were in the previews for that movie, because even if they did show the Tom Holland message beforehand, which I know they didn't, it's like, they're in a theater to watch a movie that they paid money for. They're not going to leave. But that doesn't matter anyway, because, like, the very first line of that trailer is, you know, Rosebud is the sled. It's the thing. It's the thing about that movie. About that movie's ending. And I know it's, like, a big talking point, so you want people to be able to talk about it, Russo's, but... I really like the Russo brothers, actually. I don't want them... I wouldn't want them directing every Marvel movie. If there's one thing I don't like about the Russos, it's... I kind of blame them for the fact that, like, the color keying in most Marvel movies is kind of weird. Like, a lot of the battles happen in, like, just, like, broad daylight without a lot of, like, variety and lighting or anything like that. And, I don't know. It's just very flat color schemes. If you've ever heard somebody say that the Marvel movies look bland, that's what they're talking about. Especially because Phase 1 went so far out of its way to, like, make each of the movies look and feel different, and now a lot of them kind of look the same. But what I do like about the Russos, so I think their first Marvel movie was Winter Soldier, and then they did Civil War and... shoot. Sorry, having trouble. And then they did Infinity War, and they did Endgame. One thing that was apparent right out of the gate with Winter Soldier is they are very good at blocking superhero fights. All the fight choreography with Captain America is like so grounded. And it just, I don't know, it feels really good. Winter Soldier is a really good action movie, apart from everything else you like about things in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And Civil War, perhaps doubly so, because it's the same, you know, fight choreography kind of aesthetic, but now with more superpowered people. Like, I love the airport fight so much. That's one of my favorite scenes in all of cinema, at least in all of, like, action cinema, because of just, like, that and the fight in Avengers at the end are, like, two of the biggest examples of, like, oh, wow, the MCU just, like, really loves superheroes. It's, like, a throwing all your action figures kind of way, and different characters' powers are bouncing off of each other in unique ways. Watch the choreography, the fight choreography in Civil War, and then in Batman v Superman or Justice League. Watch those back to back, and you'll see what I mean. I don't want to totally rag on the DC movies, because I think in some ways they're getting better. Justice League and Batman v Superman are two of the worst examples. Also Suicide Squad. But, one thing even in the better movies, like even in Wonder Woman, which I think is like a good movie, I think it doesn't stick the landing. Like, the third act, it kind of fails. I hear Aquaman's pretty good. I hear Shazam is actually really good. I gotta see those. It's just, you know, the DC movies haven't exactly built up a lot of goodwill from me that it makes me want to spend money to see them in theaters. Especially because seeing movies in theaters are so freaking expensive. Alright. I need to just stay ahead of the pack here. There we go. Was that so hard, John? But you look at the fights in, like, Batman v Superman and stuff like that, and it's really hard to gauge the weight of anything. There's a lot of, like, people hitting each other as hard as they possibly can. And I don't know, like, Batman has, like, a grappling hook around Superman, and oh, great, useless one-ups. Is swinging Superman around, and there's no real idea of, like, how heavy Superman is, especially since Superman is, like, a gravity-defying character. Losing my train of thought. I don't like it. That's my train of thought. And, I don't know, they don't find very interesting things for their heroes to do. Also, action scenes are better in Marvel movies because... so this was something that I think Joss Whedon with the Avengers... what year was that? Freaking, like, 2009? No, it was later than that. It was way later than that. But, Joss Whedon gets banter really well. He uses it to great effect in all of his TV shows. And brings that expertise into a ensemble-based cast like the Avengers. I'm going in circles. Oh, okay, here we go. So, you know, you have, like, fight, and then line. Characters talk a lot during the action scenes. And that's good, because you don't want your action scenes in an action movie to be totally removed from the story. Like, there's set-piece moments, and that's great, but you also always want the action in the action scenes to also be linked to the dramatic action. So here and there, you're gonna want characters to talk. Either by bantering or whatever else. And even when it's just like a one-line quip from a character, everything that's said in fights in the Avengers and stuff like that is, like, influence from the characters. I would even say, so, like, in the fight scenes in Avengers, every move that a character does is, like, character-driven. Like, everything is, like, what that character will do, and because you understand the character better, you understand, like, how Thor swings his hammer and stuff. Or, like, you know, there's so many, like, team-up moments during that fight, and when two characters say something to each other, it's interesting because it's based on their character. So, like, when towards, like, when they're kind of in the 11th hour during the, during that fight, during the Battle of New York, and, like, the Chitauri are still coming, and Thor, I forget what the lead-up to the line is, and Thor's like, oh, they just keep coming, and Captain America's like, what, you getting sleepy? And he says this, like he's, like, really tired, but it's, like, both a corny thing to say, but also, like, and you know that Captain America is getting, like, really tired, but he's making light of it because that's just the kind of guy he is, and kind of ties into his whole, like, I can do this all day mentality. Me and I can talk about Marvel movies a lot. You know what I just finished, actually? Cloak and Dagger. Season 2 of Cloak and Dagger on Freeform. I don't know why I watch these Marvel shows, except that I seem to think that I have to watch everything that's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Cloak and Dagger's an alright show. It's just such a thing that I wouldn't care about if it's not Marvel. Like, it's not like I watch every TV show I can. Though recently I've fallen in love with, a lot of stuff by executive producer Michael Schur. I want to make a video about all of his work. He's the guy who was a writer and I think producer of The Office, the American version of The Office, not the, Okay, let's get out of here. We got the key card. We don't need to kill the squid. We'll get out of here. We'll get away from the squid. Trying to get away from the squid. Okay, because we are hurt. We are very hurt. Alright. Dang it! Yeah, I know, Brevin, I know. Yeah, Michael Schur did The Office, and he did Parks and Recreation, and he does The Good Place and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Also, Aziz Ansari's Master of None, which I haven't watched all of yet. You know, it's just comedy. It's not something quote-unquote deep, except I would argue that it's actually, his works are incredibly deep. Not so much Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but there's still, like, I don't know, I think there's certain themes that run parallel in all of his works that I would like to make a video about. I kind of have my thesis prepared for it. So if I was the kind of guy who made video essays in any sort of, you know, normal manner, that would be a thing I'd make a video essay about. Okay, I remember now how I had to do this to beat it with Lilac. I should be trying to kill these soldiers before I come down here, so that they don't follow me down here and ruin my plans. You ruining my plans? Yeah, I suck. Sorry, you guys are watching me suck and listening to me rant about Marvel again. This is episode 16, which is the 7th episode of my playing as Carol. Okay, so this is where I need to go once I get the key card from the squid. Let's try and remember that. What was I just saying? I was just saying something, I promise. I don't know. I forget. Probably wasn't important. Oh, yeah. Finished watching Cloak and Dagger. I don't recommend it. I mean, maybe it'll be the kind of thing you're into, but I don't think it's the kind of thing that many people are into. And, like, despite what they may tell you, you don't need to watch everything that claims to be part of the MCU. Don't be like me, guys. Because then you end up watching a lot of stuff that you don't actually care about. Like Slingshot. Who the hell watches Slingshot? Not to, like, completely dig against Cloak and Dagger, because for the kind of show that it is, it's actually really good. A phrase I like to use is stick the landing. It does not stick the landing with its last episode this season, in my opinion. But then again, I watched a review because I was interested in other people's thoughts. I watched a review of somebody saying that they thought the ending was incredible, and I'm very like, what? It was? So I don't know, maybe I'm just not the target demographic for it. I mean, I'm clearly not. It's definitely more of a teen drama being marketed to teens. And I have not been a teen for 9 years. Okay, so I should go this way? I almost used my roll to hurt an enemy there. No, I think I came too far. No, this'll work. This'll work. This is fine. Yay, thank you, Mila. This is my 7th episode playing as Carol, and it took me 9 episodes to beat the game as Lilac, and I wanted to, like, get a little bit faster at it, so I guess if I beat Carol's playthrough next episode, I will have improved my process by 1 episode. I'm definitely not going to go through the rest of the, whatever this place is called, the Flying Fortress, whatever. Definitely not going to do the rest of that this episode. I might just finish this level up and call it, which is the same place that I did last time I was doing this, with Lilac. So, who was the boss of this area? It was Serpentine, right? I'm gonna have to fight Serpentine. Soon is going to be... Oh, yes. I was just about to say... They don't need... No, this is the part where he turns off the oxygen, and it becomes a race against time. But that's okay, because time is slow. Men, women, when I'm with you on this channel, time stands still. I hiccuped a little bit while saying that, so it was extra awkward. It was almost a Rick Sanchez, how he kind of, like, burps while he's talking. I forgot how quickly it actually expects you to do these parts. And this is before Mila gives you the blue shield. Mila, where are you? Give me that shield! Thank you! Oh, wow, that was down to the dang wire. Down to the ding-dong wire. Okay. And... Is this... No, this is a different place than I was before. I can tell. It's fine. Okay. And lasers. And lasers. Ah, shoot. Feeling dumb. Feeling dumb for that one. So, I'm just gonna speed my way. I'm going to, as the speedrunners call it, damage boost my way through. Oh, yeah, I forgot I gotta go up, hit the switch, and, that's okay. That's okay, I have enough time. Thank you again, Mila. Alright, and then this area down here, where Mila is going to appear again in case I somehow lost my shield from the 0 enemies between there and the last shield. The level design in this game is generally pretty good. Just every once in a while there's little quirks like that that make me raise an eyebrow. Like, what? Why'd you do that? That was like a safety. I do that a lot of my Super Mario Maker stages of like, okay, when they get to this part, I need the I need the switch to be set to red. It should be set to red, but just in case, I'm going to put this, like, mechanism in here that sets it to red again. Okay. Oh, thank you for all the extra power-ups. That was mighty kind of you. I'll take those health pickups too, if and you don't mind. Okay. So we need to take the elevator up the rest of the way now. There's other bubbles inside the bubble shield, which almost makes me feel like the bubble shield is full of water, and that would be bad. That would actually not let me breathe. No, it's fine. There's just bubbles in it. I mean, and even if there was water in it, and then there were bubbles in the water, there's air in those bubbles. And the green grass grows all around and around. Run? Having trouble with this. There we go. There we go, that's what I wanted to do. Wait, is this what I wanted to do? Am I going somewhere I shouldn't be going? Did I just cheese something? I feel like I cheesed something. I almost said I feel like I chose something. I did choose. I chose to be a rebel. A rebel with a cause, which is to finish this Let's Play sometime this year. Ah, shoot. Ah, balls. Blue protective bubble balls. Okay, but it doesn't matter because we're back to the part where the air is turned on, and now we're at the part where we have to fight Serpentine. What happened to you, man? Oh, no, you just took the drug, that's why. I was thinking, like, did Lilac come in here, through here first and beat you up? Okay, other question. Because Carol... So, there's parts of the story where Carol and Lilac are split up. But this isn't one of them, right? Lilac and Carol are doing all the same things together in terms of the story. I mean, they did show Torque giving each of them different key cards, but they run through the same stages. I guess it's not that weird. I guess it's just with, you know, there's 3 different places where key cards need to be loaded up, and, and you load your key cards up, and whichever character you're playing at is the one that goes through this particular route. So it's implied that there are other routes, even though the game designers did not make them. Alright. Oh, I kept doing my... Oh! Oh, that knockback, though. I was doing my flurry kick when I didn't actually have it. When I didn't actually have enough blue. Alright. Alright, I don't remember your patterns, Serpentine. You like to shoot a thing at the ground. You like to shoot a thing at the ground that waves across the ground, and then you rocket punch. Yeah. Yeah, so when I see him do that projectile move, I have to be ready for his dash forward move again. And here it comes. There we go. Okay, we knocked his face off. I just remembered how the same thing happens later when you're fighting Mila. Why are characters able to recover from getting their faces bashed off? There's a hole where his face used to be. And his face will now reform because we're turning back time. We're using Mila's turn wheel. Not that Mila, the one from Fire Emblem. Or whatever it's called in 3 Houses. Why am I not playing 3 Houses right now? Everybody constantly asking me which house I was going to pick. I didn't decide until I started playing the game. Even then, it was really hard for me to decide. But I went with the Golden Deer. Glory be to the Golden Deer. And only... The fact that they're my favorite color, yellow, is only one of the reasons why I picked them. They also kind of seem the least up their own butts, even though Claude is already super manipulative. At least he's, like, honest about how he's manipulative. I like him. I like him a lot. I think I like all three of the house leaders, though. I don't think there's one I don't like. The one I was least interested in at the offset was, Dimitri. But now that I met him, I like him, too. He had the most vanilla design out of them, that he was just kind of a blonde guy in blue with a spear. Whereas Edelgard not only has the novelty of being the girl, but also has cool silver hair and an axe. And, you know, I'm always going to like Bowman, and just everything about Claude's design is great. And he winks at you. Claude, surprisingly, so I was looking up today, I don't know if it's a complete list, but I was looking at what characters you can gay romance. I have no idea what I'm going to do for romance in that game, but I was very happy to hear that they expanded since Fire Emblem Fates with your options for having a gay relationship, because... So, in Fates, and I was happy for this in Fates too, there were exactly 2 characters that you could have your avatar, that you could have Corrin be in gay love with. Niles or Severa. And, I mean, sorry, Niles or... Who's the corresponding character for Tharja? Rajat. That was the 2 characters it was, right? Yeah, I think it was. Which is weird, because despite the fact that, Soleil is gay, that's like her defining character trait, they do not let you romance her if you're a girl. They do not let you get S support, and that was always kind of weird to me. But hey, I didn't think it was very full gay representation, but it was like, you know, a step. It showed that they, like, at least, like, were interested in having gay representation. Any character that's going to have a gay option should have multiple gay options. It's not like gay people are going... It's not like a gay man is just going to marry the first other gay man he meets. So, not that it really bothers me, but I was looking at a list of characters who are bi in 3 houses. And by that, I mean they can be your S support regardless of whether you're playing as a boy or a girl. They are attracted to both men and women, I guess. I don't know if it's that they're literally supposed to be bisexual or maybe pansexual or whatever. Maybe it's just that in the reality in which you are a girl, they also like girls. I prefer to think that the characters are all, that those characters are all bisexual. Because, I don't know, I don't like the idea of your sexuality determining something for their character. That's weird to me. It's also then weird to me that nobody is just homosexual. Like, you can't just have a gay guy. He has to be bi, because I guess, you know, for those of you crazy people who still don't like gays, if there was a character you liked, like, say in Fates, you really liked Niles, and you were playing a female avatar, and you wanted your female avatar to date Niles, but Niles was gay, so you couldn't. Where do I go? I'm walking in circles here. Okay. I guess that's right. Sorry about that. So I guess if you were, you know, homophobic, or one of those people who are like, okay, fine, you can have gay stuff in the game, I'm just going to ignore it because I don't like gay stuff, which is still homophobic. Just because you're not loud and obnoxious about it doesn't mean that you're not homophobic. But, so like, if you were in that situation and you were playing as a female avatar and you wanted to romance Niles and it said, no, sorry, you can't, Niles is gay, then you would use that as fodder to justify being angry that there was gay stuff in the game. So I think that's why they made all the gay characters, or all the LGBT characters, I should say, exclusively bi, so that straight people don't feel like they're having anything taken away from them by the inclusion of gay characters. So it does create this weird situation where, like, oh, the only kind of gay is bi, but I don't know. I'm not a master of, you know, gender politics or sexuality politics, though this is not my TED Talk. If I was doing a TED Talk, it would probably be something about, like different directors of Marvel movies and which one was the best. If I was doing a TED Talk, it would probably be why, like, maybe you should watch Runaways. I don't know. So I don't know if I would prefer it or not if, like, they diversified it more that, like, some characters could only be gay in Fire Emblem and other characters could only be straight. Because gay character, like, people... So let's assume you're one of those people who plays as an avatar, who, like, role plays with their avatar. I don't really do this. I don't see Byleth as me or Corrin as me. I just kind of think I'm playing as a character named Corrin, and I get to decide what Corrin does. I still kind of feel like Corrin is an individual and has agency in the plot that's not necessarily my own. But other people, you know, play it of like, okay, this character is going to be me for the duration of this Fire Emblem Let's Play, and I'm going to have them date who I would want to date. So let's assume that you're doing it like that. So since Fire Emblem Fates... No, since Fire Emblem Awakening, because Awakening was the one that introduced Robin, and kind of reintroduced the concept of, like, having an avatar character. I know it was done in past Fire Emblem games, but just not the same way. So, support conversations in older Fire Emblem games were much more selective. Like, each character would have, at most, maybe 5 characters that they could have a support with, and not all of those would be, like, romantic supports, you know? And even more so for the non-main characters. There are some characters that didn't have any relationship where they would get romantically involved. And there were others where, like, maybe they had 3 options of somebody that they could marry, but that, you know, there wasn't, like, a child breeding system, so that only really got told to you in the game's epilogue anyway, whether or not, you know, your ship got married to one another. You know, like, Larshel can marry Ephraim if they're at an A support, or can marry Inez if they're at an A support. So starting with Awakening, they made it so that your player character, Robin, can get married to any character if you put the time in. Even, like, certain, like, more, like, bonus characters, like a Versa or a Lise that, like, literally didn't have any other supports, Robin could marry them. Because Robin is your character, and we want to let you marry whatever character you want. Go live out your fantasy. If you want to get married to Walhart, more power to you, baby. So I think I don't want that teleporter. No, I guess I do. Okay, I'm in another, like, going round in circles situation here. Okay. Sorry, this level can be a little bit confusing to me sometimes. Also, I said I was going to stop after part 2, and here we are in part 3 still talking because I got on a tirade. So you could marry whoever you want, except that, you know, if you were playing as male Robin, or aka your avatar was male, you didn't have to name them Robin. You know, it was heterosexual only. I'm not going to get mad at that, it's in the past. But, then with Fates, they decided to, you know, throw the gays a bone And if you're a gay male, there's one option, which is Niles. And if you're a gay female, there's one option, which is Rajat. Yeah, we still gotta fight Mila. So it's limited, but it's at least, like, acknowledging that gays exist. Also, in the past, there were a lot of support conversations that kind of, like, implied a gay relationship, but did not confirm. Mila, no! It's super messed up. This is messed up. Mila transforming into this abomination is messed up, is what I mean. I'm not saying anything about including gay characters and things is messed up. So, okay, this is yet another step in the right direction, to the point where I would say that the representation is actually good. The original question that I had that got me onto this entire thought, though, was, really? Claude isn't bi? He seems super bi. But, I mean, that's making generalizations and assuming things about his personality, and you shouldn't assume things about people like that. That's mean. Sorry, I'm digging myself a hole, so I coughed. Gay representation is important, though. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around it for your benefit. It's an important thing. And I'm very happy to see it in Fire Emblem Three Houses at all. Sorry, I'm concentrating more, so it's harder to talk. I think I've about spoke my piece about this, though. So I feel like this is going to take me a lot of tries, because Carol is an objectively worse character. That's why. So, at least maybe I can use my wall jumps to, like, cheese around up here. Yeah, this is gonna suck. I think I'm gonna call it here then, actually. So we'll pick up with the next episode. Carol versus Mila, Fight of the Century, Cats versus Dogs, Mass Hysteria. That's the opposite of Mass Hysteria. Mass Hysteria was dogs and cats living together. So Carol's gonna train until then, do some push-ups. I'm the Comic Foil. I'll see you next time.